Dawson with the final team.
All right, here we go. Mafia.
That's it.
Guys. The Buffalo Bills. Now, the Mafia probably won't want to hear what I have to say about the Buffalo Bills this year.
But they're interesting to talk about.
They are very interesting to talk about because I think the team is still insanely talented. I do.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of players on the football field.
Yes.
That's all I have to say. And the coaching staff understands how to utilize the players that they have on the football field. I think they're going to be better than a lot of the analysts think that they are, but I think they're going to be a whole heck of a lot worse than Bills Mafia wants them to be.
I think that they've taken a step backwards this offseason, in my opinion. So they brought in the NFL draft, I thought that their draft was not that good. They drafted Keon Coleman.
It's great.
Which they kept trading back for. And I'm not much of a Keon Coleman guy.
I was at the start of last season, and then after watching his last year in college, I feel like he did not apply the effort that Keon Coleman applied in the earlier stages of his college career. And I felt like he played
Michigan State.
He played lazy football last year, and it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, when he was at Michigan State, it was like, this is some good stuff. Like, this guy could really be something. And then when he went to Florida State, it was sort of like, if you just watch his highlight reels, you'd be like, oh my God, he must be up there with Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. But then if you actually watch the game, you're like, whoa, like, he's so polarizing. And
non-factor on a play-to-play basis until it was like, this is Keon's time to go fucking get a ball.
Yeah, and look, he's going from Jordan Travis to Josh Allen, so that is a step up. But
I don't think it matters if he's going to be lazy. If he's going to be lazy like he played last year, he is going to be such a dud.
Yeah.
But if the guy plays with heart, like we've seen him play, he is a very polarizing receiver. Very polarizing receiver.
Let me give you this receiving core. So Keon Coleman, we talked about. Curtis Samuel, they brought in. I actually really like that. I think he's going to have the best year of his season.
I think he's going to take the James Cook receiving role.
Yes, I hope so. Khalil Shakir, he's a good player. He's not a star player. Mac Hollins, they brought in. Chase Claypool, they brought in. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, they brought in.
It's getting real ugly, doesn't it?
Andy Isabella. It gets ugly quick. And all of this is to say, there's one guy who I absolutely love. One Dalton Kincaid at tight end. He is the receiver. He is the receiver on this team.
He is the receiver. They have two very good tight ends. So you look at that. You look at that depth chart, and if that does not scream two tight ends on the field at a time,
at all times,
I don't know. I don't know what it does. Now, what does that also mean for the running game?
Well, so this is going to be interesting. So let's balance this. So Josh Allen and Mitch Trubisky's back as well. Mm-hmm. James Cook, Ty Johnson at running back, and Ray Davis are the three guys. And I think that, I think you and I differ here because I'm not a James Cook guy.
I am. I love James Cook as a runner.
I was proven wrong last year. I'll admit that. He played way better than I thought he would. But don't be surprised if by week 4, week 5, this is Ray Davis' show.
It should be Ray Davis' show. Ray Davis has the skills to be a 3-down running back in this league, and it's up to him to lose this job. It really is up to him to lose this job. He won't start with the job in his hands, but I'm telling you that, you give a ball to a guy that can run 5+ yards a carry, like gracefully, and his explosiveness off the line. The one thing that James Cook, though, the one thing that he had towards the end of last season was patience, and it takes a running back in the NFL a long time to develop that type of patience.
Yeah,
and oh my God, when you watched him on the last 5 weeks going into playoffs, the patience level that he had in the pocket, like once he got that ball, he started to work his way towards the outside, and then the explosiveness that came off, like right when he saw the cut, and that's an acquired skill in the NFL that you need to be a lot of trust has to be in you in order to get to that place where you have that type of trust, because a lot of the coaching staff is like, give him the ball, make him run, and drive, right?
So because there's just a couple more things, because the Bills, they're a really interesting team last year, and I think it'll be a really interesting team this year. So if you recall, if you remember correctly, so they fired their offensive coordinator last year, halfway through the season, and Joe Brady took over. Who was the guy before him? Can't remember his name. Um, it'll come to me. Now it's gone. But once that changed, so Stephon Diggs, do you remember in fantasy, Stephon Diggs over the first 6 weeks of the season, he was the wide receiver 2 or 3, I want to say. And then over from week 7 onwards, he was the wide receiver 67.
It was awful.
A
It was awful.
change. But it's not like anyone then took over and stepped up
Nope.
in place. It was just
that's what I was getting at with the 2 tight ends on the field. And what does that mean for the running game?
Yep.
So, truthfully, I don't think that they are going to be a very pass heavy team this year.
No,
I think this year is going to be about controlling the clock, lower scoring games.
Yep.
And they brought in Ray Davis for a reason.
Yep. Their season last year, so they started 3-1 to start the season. That's good. And then from week 5 through till their bye week, week 13, they went 3-5. So then they started performing really badly. And then if you recall, they then won the last 5 games of the season to make the playoffs. And I think they won the division as well.
On a grind. That
was all because of they changed their philosophical offense, their design. They got rid of their coach halfway through the year, and Joe Brady took over. Josh Allen, who his lines were at 260 passing yards from their bye week onwards, he only went over that one time.
Didn't have to.
Yeah, that was in week 18. That was against the Dolphins to make the playoffs.
And won't have to next year.
And I think that they'll continue to perform this way. I
agree with you, John.
Something they liked, and they were like, let's rely less on receivers. We'll get rid of Stephon Diggs. He's more of a problem. We'll develop Keon Coleman this year. He's not going to be the guy this year. And they'll lean heavily on James Cook, Ray Davis, and probably even Ty Johnson, I imagine.
Yeah, I can't see Ty Johnson being in that mix too much, to be honest with you. But I think between Ray Davis, when they start to realize just how dependable Ray Davis really is, and how you can use him for at least two downs.
Yeah.
At least, 2 downs, which his receiving skills can show that he can do 3, but you got James Cook, and you know what James Cook's skill is. It is very much in the passing game.
Right.
And patience. So give him the ball when you're 3rd and 4, when you're 3rd and 5, he'll do great things.
Yeah.
But Ray, he knows how to make people. He punishes people in the pocket.
Yeah.
Anybody like at first point of contact, at the line, he last season showed truly what a power runner looks like. And I had zero thoughts against not drafting him when he was on the board for me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
In the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Like it was the most obvious pick that I could possibly make in my mind.
Yeah.
And there was a whack of teams that he could have went to, but like I said earlier, I don't think that there could have been a better position that Ray Davis or a better spot that Ray Davis could have gone than to Buffalo. With where they're trajecting, with the way that the way that the team is outfitted, the way that the coaching staff has been molded around. Like this is a great spot for Ray. And as a betting person, I will take happily the 500 yards that they're going to give to Ray Davis to start the season.
Yeah.
I'm happily going to take the over on that. Happily.
That makes me sad because I thought we were going to be able to do a little Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary repeat.
Not today. Not today.
It sounds like we're both on the Ray Davis.
Yeah. Not today, buddy. Not today.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Much.
Ray Davis. He's like I said. I think that this is a massive diamond in the rough. This there's not even a comparable that I have in recent years in mind. Yeah. I know it when I see it. And
he kind of reminded me of like a bigger Doug Martin from back in
big muscle hamster. Muscle hamster. Yeah. No, to be honest with you, that's actually a great comparable. However, I think Ray Davis is actually more talented than Doug Martin.
Um, uh, no, I think Doug Martin was very good. I don't know.
He was really good.
Yeah, he
He
was.
was really good.
I think he was a high draft pick, wasn't he, Doug Martin? Can't remember.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, well, I for a running back, I guess. But
Who- So, sorry, just to start their season, they've actually got a pretty favorable schedule. So they go week one against Arizona, we already talked about. Then they play Miami, so it's divisional. They play
yeah,
Jacksonville, who they usually get the better of more often than not. And then they have Baltimore, but then they have like Houston and the Jets and the Titans. Actually, you know what? Actually, Houston's I think is going to be really good this year. So first three games look pretty good.
yeah, I think it's super favorable. And I mean, it usually takes a few games for a rookie to get going, except for
Yep.
when you're a running back. So
Yep, exactly. And so, we talked about the Arizona Cardinals and their terrible run defense from last year. Man,
here we
fire
go.
James Cook. I think James Cook will probably have a line of like, I want to say like 55 and a half.
Take him.
Yeah, I'm going to go the over there.
But
And
Ray's gonna have 20.
Ray's going to have like 35. And I reckon
No, less,
take the over.
less.
Yeah.
He'll have less. Take
Take
the
the
over.
over.
Take the over.
Yeah.
Take the over. Honestly, the kid's gonna cook from the start.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is I reckon Keon Coleman's probably going to have about 30 and a half. And I would
I don't
not,
trust it.
wouldn't take the over, but I also wouldn't bet the under just because. And I think
No.
Curtis Samuel will probably have about 35 and a half based on last season. And I think he'll probably get that week one because Curtis.
I'd be interested
Oh,
to take his rushing totals at like 8 every game, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yep. 3 attempts for 8 yards sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Sounds
Yeah.
sounds about right.
And then
You know?
just lastly on Josh Allen and their win total. So we talked about how he couldn't get over 260 passing yard prop line. He was also 36 and a half was his pass attempt line. He was going under those. His rushing yard line, he was going under most of the time, unless it was like game on the line type stuff. So
Same thing this year.
I just think they're going to take a step back. Their over under is 10 and a half wins. And I just feel like taking the under.
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically play these, but I would take the
Yeah.
under on that too.
Because the other thing as well is they play the NFC West. So they've got San Fran, they've got LA, they've got us, Seattle, and they've got Arizona who could be better. So I think that that's going to be tough for them. Then their one opponent, their conference opponent is Detroit. So no, but that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
15. So whoops, there goes my phone. So yeah, that's
Hey,
where
hold on. Can we recap this and can we go just team by team and I will tell you
yep,
all again what my futures
yep.
uh bets, my individual player stat bets are
That sounds
for
great.
this season.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do a quick recap. So we started with the Arizona Cardinals. We
Oh,
both
baby.
really like James Conner.
James Conner to
And I
get
like
in
Marvin Harrison.
end zone. I don't even know what the number is because it hasn't come out yet.
It'll be about
But
65 and a half, I reckon.
sorry,
I've got it at 65 and a half
for which?
for James Conner rushing yards.
But you're talking about week one. I'm talking about season.
Oh, season. Okay, sorry. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
go.
talking about the season, and I'm talking about James Conner getting in the end zone over 9 times easily,
Yeah,
easily, unless he's injured.
yeah.
But easily, if he's not injured, this seems like it's the most obvious thing when I look at that team and I look at every single stat I could possibly think about to 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 say I want to take an over on James Conner finding the end zone this
Well,
year.
we'll see because he's usually a lock to miss about 4 games at least. So,
Doesn't
but
even matter. There's going
I
to be a
like
few
it.
games where he's in there twice. You
Yeah,
know,
I think he has the best season of his career.
he's got to play. He's got to play 9 games in order to hit that.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Bijan Robinson,
Bijan.
baby.
Yeah,
Bijan
Bijan.
Robinson, and this is a direct correlation off of talent and a quarterback that understands talent. So Bijan Robinson, his receiving total. I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling that it's going to reside somewhere in between the 500 and 600 mark.
Mhm.
And without a doubt in my mind, Bijan Robinson is going to blow that out of the water. I think he's actually going to probably have close to 800-900 this year.
Yeah.
And that's just because that Kirk Cousins knows how to find the golden pony on the field at all times.
What about, okay, let me workshop this idea. I'm not going to lock it in, but
Yeah, sure.
Michael Penix finishes with more
Stop.
passing yards than Kirk Cousins.
Stop. You just think that Kirk
Let me
Cousins is going to get injured
let
again.
me workshop it. But
No way.
can't you see? Can't you see the Falcons come out the gate? They lose like the first couple of games. They lose to
They won't.
Pittsburgh. They lose to KC. They
They
lose like
won't.
divisional games to the Saints and the Bucks, and then the Panthers. And they're like 1-5 or 2-5 or
They
whatever.
won't. No, they
And
won't.
the crowd is calling for Kirk Cousins' head because he sucks because he hasn't fully recovered from the ankle from the torn Achilles. And they're like, "We need Penix. We drafted Penix. Bring him out here." I'm just saying.
Hey,
I'm not saying. I'm
Kirk
just
Cousins
saying.
with one foot, with no feet, can make better decisions on the football field
No, we
than Michael Penix can. With no feet, none,
all right.
stilts.
Nah.
Give,
All right.
give him two crutches,
That
and
might
he will
that might
make better decisions than Michael Penix will
that might
at
be
this
that
point
might be
in
the
his
bet. We'll
career.
see. We'll see. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens. Give me your fave. You like Lamar.
I love Lamar Jackson over rushing total. And John, you said it's probably going to reside somewhere around
Probably
800.
800. Yeah. I like Derrick
Yeah,
Henry,
yeah.
man. I'm all over Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah, trust me, I like Derrick Henry too. I think the rushing game is going to be very strong. But in professional sports, when an athlete decides to lose 14 pounds, there's a reason. You spend your entire season maintaining weight or moving weight for a reason.
But I
And
feel like you need to bulk up in order to break tackles as a running back.
no, it's not about breaking.
I
It's
need
not
to,
about
yeah.
breaking tackles.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think it's about breaking tackles. I think it's
Yeah.
about, as you get older, it becomes more difficult for the acceleration. It becomes more difficult for the elusiveness.
Yeah.
The only way that you're going to be able to maintain that is by dropping weight, getting lighter, and staying more agile. The wear and tear on your knees and everything. It gets. I mean, I'm 36. I go out in my backyard and I do sprints, and I'm dogged. Like I am dogged. My knees hurt, everything hurts, and I don't play professional sports. I
Yeah.
can only
Slight
imagine when
difference.
you're taking the hits.
Yeah.
Give me Lamar Jackson over 800 and whatever the fuck, 800 and something
Yeah.
rushing yards. Whatever the line comes out, give me the over. I'll play it up to about 1,000.
And the final team, the Buffalo Bills. I think we are pretty big Ray Davis guys this year.
Yeah, Ray Davis. This is
Yeah.
it. Over 500 and something, whatever. It's going to be between 500 and 600 rushing yards, my guess. If it's higher than that, I don't blame the odds makers for making it higher than that, but something tells me it'll be between 500 and 600. 550 sounds about right. Yeah, it
All
depends
right.
on those predictions, I think. But give me the over.
Yeah. Next week, we will be talking Carolina, Chicago, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. But until then, Sully, send us out, bud.